find the one
Don't
that makes
have
sense.
a $2,000 a month
Payment.
truck. No.
Yeah.
Out the door for the week, you're $600 down. We didn't talk about fuel yet. We didn't talk about your insurance. We didn't talk about your IFTA taxes. If you don't know how to fuel correctly throughout the states, you know, you guys gotta know. You gotta be prepared for a fuck up, because they happen. You know, that's just a part of the game.
You ready? Are you sleeping? Hey.
I did have my eyes closed.
Tommy, tell me. Come here.
Hey.
So Tommy just stopped by to fix. What are you fixing?
I'm fixing a wheel seal on the trailer. It started leaking late last night.
Okay.
So I just took the day off and coming around and have you guys take a look and inspect the truck and trailer and get this wheel seal fixed. So
You can roll.
I can roll tomorrow.
You got a load for today?
I got a load tomorrow. I took the day off. Usually if I got to work on equipment for the day, the day is wasted already. So I just start up
Good.
Milwaukee from Lyons, Illinois.
Not bad. Local line.
Local run. No road stuff for me anymore. Been there, done that.
Okay. Let's start from the
it's not
beginning,
worth
Tommy.
it.
Tell me first, how long have you been an owner-operator? That's my
I've
number one
been an
question.
owner-operator for 9 years.
Okay.
As I was telling you before, I graduated from college, did the suit and tie gig.
You did?
Yeah,
What did you do?
I was auditing downtown Chicago. I did that for a year, got fired. They told me I had a bad mouth.
You were just a business owner, that's all.
Yeah, so my dad, my uncle, my grandpa, they all had trucks, and they were all entrepreneurs, so it was hard for me to be in an office for 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's damn near impossible. So I started with Swift Transportation. Everybody down, you know, they downplay Swift, but they're not bad.
They're not bad, no.
I started with them. The first 2 months I was over the road. I was going out to Minnesota. I started with a Costco account.
Okay.
So we're going to Minnesota, Detroit. They had me go out to New York State a couple of times. And I told my dispatcher, I was like, hey man, I'm not cut out for the over the road. So that next week he said, hey, I got a Pactiv account, and that was local. It was the graveyard shift, but that was local, and that was a 12-hour shift. I did my work in 8 hours and I was home. I didn't tell anybody, but
Yeah.
So I did that for 6 months. I got tired of working at night, and
when was the decision? We're like, okay, I'm buying a truck. What happened?
okay, so that transition was when I started as a lease operator with CRST Malone, their flatbed division.
Okay.
You know, 7-8 years ago, it wasn't bad because I was going out to Iowa and Detroit. I was still getting home throughout the week and weekends off.
7 years, that would be 2013. I'm trying to place it, so what was happening. Okay, we were coming out of the recession. That was
right.
That was bad. That was good, yeah.
Yeah, so I did the CRST lease operator for 8 months. I made enough money to get my own down payment to get my first truck, not a lease truck. So yeah, I was with CRST Flatbed for 8 months. I was able to get 20 grand.
Driving for them, saving up for your down payment for your rig. Okay.
Right. And out of the 20 Compass truck sales up the street, that's where I got my first truck from. They said, hey, we'll give you a truck, give us 25% down.
Okay.
So I gave them the 8 grand for a T2000. It was an old Schneider truck. I had absolutely no problems with that truck.
T2000, what year was it, remember?
It was a 2006. I still have it.
Perfect. You still have it?
Yeah, I'm not getting rid of that truck.
Nice. You still use it?
I use that on my Portage account, heavy haul coils.
Okay. You have somebody driving it for you?
I drive that.
Oh, you drive it?
Yeah. I had somebody driving for it, but I lost money.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not worth the headache.
Yeah.
So I had that truck for 3 to 4 years. Jose replaced 2 pistons, head gasket head, I think a couple of injectors and some other stuff. The government started talking about the E-log. I bought this the year before they made that active. And that
year before, okay, 2 years ago.
Maybe 2 years. No, so I got that 2 years before they started talking about it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I've had this truck for 4 years now.
Interesting.
And I overpaid for it, but it was worth it.
Okay, so tell me what you have first, so we know what it is.
This is a 97 379.
Let's see.
Large car, 34.6E cat motor. I got it bumped up to a 675.
Okay.
It's got a PDI tune, 58 injectors, bigger bore Warner turbo. I just installed water injection, and that's pretty much it on the engine side. I haven't had to touch the engine yet.
Okay.
Thank God.
Well, for 4 years, that's
yeah.
That's
I haven't
nice.
had to touch the engine for 4 years. Just oil changes and basic maintenance. But as far as truck suspension,
everything else, yeah.
Front end, $5 grand.
Yeah.
Drive line, $2 grand.
What about transmission?
Haven't.
Nothing
Nope.
with trans. What is it?
Just
13
oil.
speed.
18 speed.
18 speed.
Yeah,
Okay.
18 speed.
How do you like that 18 speed?
I love it. I usually drive it like it's a 13 speed, but if I got 60 in the box,
yeah, it helps.
Yeah, or 100 grand on my flatbed, I usually split all the gears. But other than that, it's just I ride it like a 13 speed.
Okay, perfect.
It's got 355 rear ends. I eventually want to change that to a 308.
Okay. Just for what reason?
Just for mile power. 'Cause I run, and for fuel mileage.
Okay.
So when I'm cruising at around 70, 75, I'm pegging 1700 RPMs, around 75. I want to bump that down to about 1500. So 308
You're gonna
gear.
drop down.
Yeah, the 308 gear would help that with fuel mileage.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do it yourself? Do you do a lot of work
I
yourself?
probably have either you guys do it or I don't have the tools to even accomplish that feat.
So tell me, as we're talking about saving money, maybe let's get a little closer here. So tell me, as far as your experience, what would be like the #1 couple tips for owner operators that are thinking about buying? Obviously, you've been doing this for quite a while. So what is something that you would want to share?
As far as just getting into a CDL or getting an owner operator?
I have a lot of experience. I just want to get a truck and I want to get into being an owner operator.
Firstly, do not do the Swift. Don't do the Swift, the JB Hunt.
Lease to purchase.
Lease to
none of
purchase.
those. Yeah.
Please do not do those.
Why do you think that's an issue? Why do you think people do it? And
I've
why
heard
do you
the
think it's
horror
bad?
stories that you will get down to almost owning the truck within the last year, and then they will start having all these other excuses as why you can't buy the truck. They always want you to stay in the truck and flip it versus you buying it off.
Yeah.
And that's not the key. You want to go ahead and buy that truck off, pay it off as fast as possible.
So stay away from that. What else would you?
I've heard a good thing about the Schneider lease purchase. One of my buddies, he dispatches himself. He doesn't talk to his dispatcher at all. Honestly, he said maybe once a week he talks to his dispatcher, but he dispatches himself, and he'll have his truck paid off at the end of the year.
Nice.
And it's been 2.5 years.
Nice.
He's over the road. He's rarely home.
Yeah.
His truck was 100 grand.
Yep.
Stay away from that. Get you a $30,000 to $40,000 truck that would do the same as a $200,000 truck.
Correct.
Um,
Do you think knowledge around trucks is important? How did it help you? My question is, how did it help you?
I've been getting dirty around cars and trucks since I was a kid, so it helped me out tremendously. Some shops aren't honest. They will price gouge you if you don't know what the hell that you're doing.
Yep.
They'll take advantage of you. So if you have experience over the road, you kind of can estimate how much repairs cost just from tows, wheel seals, you know, basic brake jobs, injector jobs. If you've got any experience, you should know how much that stuff
and you could
cost.
But there's, I think, online research, I think you can find pretty much to every engine
Google
model.
is your best friend.
Google is the best friend.
Google is your best friend.
YouTube, and I told you that's why we have the channel, is put out as much information as possible. So okay, so don't get into lease purchase with bet companies. Find the one that makes sense.
Don't have a $2,000 a month
payment
truck. No.
Yeah.
Out the door for the week, you're $600 down. We didn't talk about fuel yet. We didn't talk about your insurance. We didn't talk about your IFTA taxes. If you don't know how to fuel correctly throughout the states, you know, you guys gotta know. You gotta be prepared for, because they happen. You know, that's just a part of the game.
And just for a better picture, you have your own DOT. You've been running your DOT for
on authority for
how?
5 years now. This is my 5th year. I had a driver in my other truck. I had 3 trucks at one point. Started getting gray hair. The other driver had a fender bender. It's an accident. Stuff happens. And he said the trailer glad hand service line popped off, and he didn't know, so he didn't have any trailer brakes.
Okay.
Hit 3 cars, nicked them, and you know, he didn't rear end them. He hit the quarter and their fenders, and insurance doubled. The insurance company doubled my payment.
Right,
yeah. So I commend you, man. He has 50 trucks.
It's been tough. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how he sleeps at night. I couldn't sleep with 3 trucks.
It's tough.
Yeah, my insurance doubled.
So then you decided, okay, no more. I'll just stick to myself.
No more drivers. My other driver that I was telling you about with my other truck, that's a 9 quad 9 flatbed that has 6 axles. He had an overweight ticket. That was a $10,000 overweight ticket. They towed it. Another $1,500.
So let's say you were starting. I know my trucks. I know I know how to drive. What truck do I buy? What would you recommend as a good starter truck?
Now it depends on
regional freight, drive-in, sometimes home, but I don't mind staying out 5 days out.
Right. It depends on what your business model is. If you are over the road, I would recommend the Freightliners. They're affordable. You can repair them, you know, if
in the middle of the nowhere.
Yeah, you can pretty much repair those, unless you got the DD15.
That's a different story. Yeah.
You might as well take that to the shop. But if you got the S60, you can make all the money in the world with that truck. It's reliable, it's dependable, and it's cheap. Cheap parts. Cats don't have cheap parts.
Don't have cats don't for sure. But do you think emissions matter? Do you think
yes.
That's something that you would.
That's another reason why I went with the old cat motor and the older truck, the DPF, the DEF. I don't know why the government is, you know, they implemented that regulation, and there's
clean air.
And there's studies saying that older engines are just as clean as the new ones, you know. So
the reason I wanted to record this with you is because I like what you're doing. I think, you know, you've been in the industry long enough to share your experience, and you have a cool rig. Take me around. I want to see what do you got going on. What have you done? You've worked on it yourself, right?
Yeah. So where did we start first? When I first bought the truck, I got the Talladega fenders. My rear fenders came from Seymour, Indiana. I forgot the name of the company, but those are some gangster fenders too. I put those on. Put the pipes on. I custom
What
made
is
my
that?
Y.
12 inch?
Yeah,
What is
those are 8-inch.
8 inch?
I
I don't know my sizes.
custom made the Y underneath the truck. Otherwise, the whole exhaust was like $3,500.
Yeah.
So I just bought the stacks for $1,000, and me and my welder custom made the Ys underneath. I bought the reefer, all stainless, Great Dane 2012. I bought that in January
This year?
this year.
You've already done a lot of work to it, huh?
Yeah, painted that. You know, painted the stripes down the trailer to match the truck. Painted the unit. I'm not done with that yet. I still got to clear coat everything on the trailer before the winter comes, but I painted that myself.
What year is the trailer, sorry?
2012.
2012, okay.
Yeah, 2012. This trailer came from a guy that ran produce, East Coast, West Coast. I wasn't going to get a reefer if it didn't have a spread axle. I could dump both bags, with both axles, I should say. You could kind of cheat the scale that way.
Yep.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the reefer.
Nice. You want to pop the hood? Show me inside.
The reefer hasn't given me any issues for what, 8 months so far. It's what, 90 degrees out. It dropped down to 0 in about an hour and a half on an empty trailer, which isn't bad.
Is that what you primarily haul, or you haul a different type of trailer?
This is my primary go-to trailer now, just because the reefer rates are
Amazing.
yeah, they're skyrocketed.
Yeah. Can you throw,
Not during COVID, but during COVID I stayed home.
Tommy, can you throw a number, gross revenue a week? What are you pulling with the reefer?
Locally, anywhere, depending on if I'm lazy or not. If I'm hauling ass,
If you're not lazy, yeah.
around $6 grand.
Okay,
Weekly.
nice.
And
Nice.
I'll probably-
Locally, and you're home
Yeah.
all the time, yeah. Perfect.
Home every night, probably put $700 in the tank.
Yeah, nice.
You gotta know how to negotiate your rates. That's the only way to be successful as an owner.
So how was, let's touch on that, because how was your, obviously when you started running for other people, then you were like, okay, now I need to find my own work, right? You got your own
Right.
DOT. How was that learning curve for you? And
It wasn't that hard for me because, like I said, my uncle had 5 trucks, so I pretty much already knew how to dispatch. I knew how important time was, so it wasn't a hard transition for me at all. But for some guys, you gotta know how to manage your time so that you can keep the wheels rolling at all times.
And the planning, could you talk about like a little bit more about planning? So let's say you got your authority and you're like, okay, now I gotta go pick up a phone and start calling people.
Okay,
and
so when I got my authority, that was when I was primarily running the flatbed. I managed 1 customer and 3 brokers. That's all you need to make the money. You know, you don't need to be calling 10 brokers. Yeah, you got to get your foot in the door, but you have 3 to 4 brokers and 1 customer, you can make all the money in the world in trucking. Provide a good service. Don't be late because you overslept.
yeah.
They don't want to hear that.
So relationship with good relationships. With
Right,
brokers, right?
yeah,
Just
your-
being on time.
Your
Doing
name,
a good job.
your name speaks for it all. I didn't have to start a website because, you know, Infinite Solutions,
Of course.
they know if they call me, they're getting good service. I do charge fairly high on rates, but stuff costs money, you know. And
Yeah.
tires are $500. Reefer breakdown overnight is about $500-600 just to even look at it. So I tell them that it costs money to operate a truck, a reefer, and that.
Yeah.
You got 2 motors to maintain.
I know, right? Let's see on the inside what you got.
Yeah, this is the 3406E. This is my homemade water injection kit.
Very creative.
Yeah, it cost me $200. I could have did the professional route, but it gets the job done.
What's the mileage on it?
On the frame, the truck has a 1.7. The engine probably has, when I bought it, the guy said he had a overhaul at around 1.2. So the motor might have, you know, 400,000 or 500,000 miles on it.
Okay.
It's not one of those. This ain't a show truck. This is a workhorse.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
No.
So I do have some oil leaks that I need to address, but they're minor.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you're not. This is not the purpose of the truck to look pretty and go
If
to
I had
the
a show truck, it would be in the garage.
What would you have for a show truck?
A W900.
W900, nice.
Yes.
What year? Because I have the same one. What year?
A 98.
Okay.
W900, flat top, you know, the AeroCat. I was actually, before I bought this one, I was going to purchase one in Miami for $50,000. I bought this for $40,000. I was going to give the guy $50,000. I had my plane ticket and everything, and the guy's wife said he can't sell the truck. He's dumped too much money into it. He's not selling it. He can't. I was like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. So I hunted this guy down in North Dakota, flew there and drove this truck back and started doing my little modifications. This was a farm truck.
What did you do inside over here?
New seats, gauges. The seats were $1,500 a piece. I keep these on them just so I
it's a cleaning. Yeah. So why are they so expensive? What is this?
I got these custom upholstery.
They're so comfortable, man. Wow.
Yeah, I drove from here to Houston and I wasn't even tired.
Nice. They look nice.
That's just covers just so I won't.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. You're keeping them nice. That's what I did.
Get my gauges. This is a home built truck. This isn't professionally built. If it was, more money.
Look, you're doing it right, brother. Trust me.
No, you're doing it right.
Are you gonna buy a W9?
No.
No.
Probably not.
You're sticking to this one?
Yeah, I'll probably just stick to this. I do want to sell my T2000. Okay. I do kind of want to keep it. I want to sell it and get a day cab.
Okay. What's the mileage on the T2000?
The T2000.
Did you say it's Series 60s in it? What's in it?
It's a cert. Cat A cert.
Yeah, 06.
That has 750,000 on the clock of 2007. Okay. So that's fairly low miles for that year truck. That should be, you know, at least 1.5 million.
That's going to be an easy sale. If you is it taken care of?
I need to change brakes and shocks. Other than that, it's good to go.
What day cab do you want to get?
A T800 can work.
Okay.
You know, the sloped hood, a little bit more aerodynamic, easier to drive in Chicago than this truck.
Yeah. What year are you looking at?
Another 95,
so
92.
Primarily you're sticking to the
I'm sticking to the older trucks. I can work on them myself. They're easy to maintain. You open up the hood on the new trucks, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, you need to have a computer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but I'll stick on the older trucks. I'll pay the extra insurance.
Yeah,
you know, of
course.
On that. It's not worth it.
Tommy, tell me your biggest mess ups in your entire history. What was the biggest mess up you've done?
And 3 years ago, first quarter, I was down 30 grand. That's when I bought this truck. I needed new drive line, new front end. I had a breakdown I had 2 water pumps go out on the road. I drove 200 miles with no water pump.
Oh, wow.
Whenever I had a chance to get water, I just kept filling the radiator. You guys gotta have some ingenuity or you will pay, you know, so
100%.
I drove it every 20 miles an hour. I don't know if I really had any screw ups because I had a lot of advice from my uncle.
So you did have support in the form of mentorship and help out. That's great.
I had support throughout this whole thing.
I always tell people, it's like you need to have people that
you
do
gotta
that,
have a
you know?
support system. You know, if
Network.
and listen. You know, if you don't have any experience in this, don't go out here without any help. You won't make it. My sister helped me a lot. Kudos to her. She has 800 credit score. She's the first one that helped me get my flatbed.
Would you say credit score is important?
Oh yes, you can't be in business without a poor credit score, or else you're gonna pay high interest. You know, so.
Did you know that when you started?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I wasn't a knucklehead when I got into this. My sister helped me out a lot. My grandma helped me out a lot with a cosign. I didn't have any credit when I was, 22, 23.
Yeah.
You know, coming out of college, you didn't pay any student loans.
Yeah.
Your credit score was already screwed, but
Yeah.
I had the credit score, but I just didn't have the history.
Okay.
You know, so they both helped me out get started and paid those loans off 2 years early, and now I'm off on my own.
Nice.
I don't really have any, as far as making decisions, I don't think I made any bad decisions.
Maybe some money lost here and there.
Money
but nothing
lost,
crazy,
you know,
right?
just
Typical
for being in
stuff.
business, right?
Yeah,
Just for being in business. But actually, I made a mistake buying that sled flatbed. I signed the dotted line with a 2-year contract. Another carrier came in and underbidded me.
Yeah, the rates have to make sense, right?
Right. Yeah. You know,
you have to know your operating cost. That's what it ultimately
right.
comes down to.
That's the part about being in business, is knowing the costs. And they were trying to get reefer loads Chicago locally on the COVID for $200-300. Are you guys crazy? It takes 9 hours to do the load.
Yeah.
Don't work for $30 an hour with a truck.
Yeah.
You won't make it.
Yeah.
But I had enough money in the bank so I could just work a day, pay my bills, break even for, during the COVID, and I stayed at home with my wife. But everybody was out trucking.
Nice.
But yeah, that was my mistake, was buying that trailer, and I'm trying to sell it now.
I appreciate you. Thank you for filling me in and showing your truck. I'm gonna
I appreciate
help you
your
out.
time.
And yeah, no, I
This is actually
appreciate
kinda cool. We could do this more often.
Yeah, we should. Let's plan the come and have you come over on the podcast. We'll record it a better way. This is more about, I grabbed you. I'm in between meetings, so I saw you and we started talking rigs, but I knew I was gonna get some good video here, so appreciate
Quick
it.
tips, guys. Have an affordable truck. No more than $1,200-1,300 a month. That's $300 a week. You can muster that. Keep your license clean.
Very important.
Very important.
Mechanical knowledge, right?
Mechanical
Knowing
knowledge.
your truck.
If you want to get your own,
very important.
Yep. If you want to get your own DOT authority, try to do it yourself if you could. It will save you a lot of money.
Build relationships.
Right. Build relationships.
Support family. Anything you can get to make this work.
But most importantly, please buy an affordable truck.
Yeah. That's what makes you or breaks you in this business.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody wants the brand new 2020 Chrome. Don't get you home.
I know. That's a good one to end it on. Thank you,
right.
brother. Thank you so much.
Okay.